Hi, I'm Dustin, one of the Ozcode magicians. In the second part of our LINQ debugging video, we're going to continue evaluating how Ozcode makes it super easy to troubleshoot and debug LINQ queries. This time we're going to look at visualizing a LINQ query with the LINQ analysis window, and we're going to see how Ozcode makes dealing with exceptions in our queries a trivial task. This time, we're using LINQ's fluent methods instead of the query syntax. We have a set of contacts in our address book that we want to extract. First, we group by the city, then filter out groups where not everyone is over the age of 18. And then we select all of the contacts from the remaining groups. When we run this, Ozcode gives us the same annotations and query explanations as it does when using the query syntax. And again, we have access to the LINQ data tip window. If you're not familiar with these topics, we covered them previously in the first part of this video. Since we've already covered those, let's look at the LINQ analysis tool. You can access the analysis tool by clicking the icon in the top right of the data tip window, or by clicking the LINQ analysis icon to the left of the code if you don't have the LINQ data tip window open. The LINQ analysis tool gives us a visual representation of each part of our query. At the top of the window is our breadcrumb trail. Starting from the left, we have our source collection and the number of items it contains. As we move to the right through each of the operators, Ozcode highlights that section of code in the code editor for our reference. As we drill down through the query, we get an explanation of what the input and the output of the operator was. In this group by clause, we see that we started with 28 items and ended up with 3. On the left side, we see the object and the value of the property used for the key. On the right side, we see the resulting groupings, which we can also drill down into. In the middle is a visual mapping of the individual items on the left to the group the item ended up on in the right. If we move to the where clause, we again see the input and the output with an explanation of why. We have 3 items on the input and 2 on the output. A quick glance at the left side shows us that the Los Angeles group was filtered out. This is indicated by the red X. Items that were included are indicated by the green check mark. But why was the Los Angeles group excluded? Since we know the where clause expects every person in the group to have an age of at least 18, we can use the search feature to look at the ages of all the contacts in that city's group. When using the search feature, just type in what you're looking for and Ozcode will compare type names, property names, and also property values. Searching for age will filter down the property list, which will make it easier for us to look at only the data we care about. Okay, under the Los Angeles group, we can see we do have one person in the group that has an age of 16, which is why the group was excluded. The select many breadcrumb is similar to the group by breadcrumb, but in reverse. Here we can see a visualization of which items came from which group. Again, we can drill down into the objects in the output. If you notice, all of these items are exactly the same as far as we can tell, and requires us to drill down into each item individually to see what the object is, since the object does not implement a customized toString method. But Ozcode gives us the ability to customize what we see by starring the properties. Next to each property is a star icon. When you activate the star, Ozcode will automatically display that property's value as if we had implemented a custom toString method on that object. Let's look at another common scenario when working with LINQ: exceptions. Exceptions in queries can be difficult to track down, especially when they occur in projections. Let's extend our query to include a projection which will include the full name, favorite color, and the city of each contact. When we evaluate the query using Ozcode, we see right from the start that there is a potential exception, and we can see where the exception will occur, which is down in our projection. It seems we have a null value somewhere. If we examine the LINQ data tip, we can see the 4th element in the collection has an issue, but we can't see which record or which property is invalid. Let's go back to the LINQ analysis tool and see what we can find. In the select breadcrumbs, we can see the indicator telling us there's an issue with that operator. On the right-hand side, we see the output of the select, including the offending item. What we want to do is find the item from the input so we can examine it. There are a few ways to do this. The first being simply looking at the visual mapping in the center, which tells us where the matching input record is. But what if our object graph is very large? It will still take us some time to figure out where the null value is. Let's use search instead. We'll search for null, and Ozcode will show us anything with a null value. In this case, it looks like we have one record where the favorite color property is null. Let's run this code once more, but instead of breaking on the query, we'll let the query execute. Now we've received an exception, and if you notice, Ozcode has highlighted the offending property in which the exception is being thrown. From here, we can examine everything as normal and fix the problem as necessary. Microsoft did a great job giving us LINQ and the tools to write LINQ queries, but left a big void when it comes to debugging and troubleshooting them. With tools like annotations and the LINQ analysis window, Ozcode fills that void and makes it super easy and even fun to debug our queries. In the next video, we're going to look at another example of how Ozcode simplifies our lives when we look at the export feature. Thanks for watching.